Hello guys, welcome back to another vlog video, and today's video we are gonna do something a little bit different, but we are gonna be focusing a lot on what I call basically Hugo's philosophy. You all know Vivian and Hugo anyway, so all you need to know is that we're gonna be doing a lot of things. I want y'all to focus on one thing, is the flaws of Hugo's philosophy. That's right. I know I'm a little bit not so ready to do this, but I really just want to do this video. I really want to get this video out of the way because we talk about the fundamental flaws of Hugo's philosophy. And the reason why I think like the entire thing is kind of not so great in the real world to begin with. But to be honest, let's start with something pretty simple. We're going to look at all of Hugo's conversations, and we're going to use all the panels and analyze them bit by bit. And we're going to do that and, of course, conclude and find all the flaws specifically. So yeah, let's just skip all the gameplay and go straight to it. Ready, egoists? Let's go. Now, first things first, we're going to leave out the whole Hugo two-gun bully whatever stuff because that's really not the whole issue here. Like honestly, let's actually get to the real deal. The real issue here is Hugo's first question. The first question from the start of the chapter is scored their first goal. The thing is, Hugo asks Hisagi, "Do you believe in destiny?" Now, to begin with, y'all would think he's talking about a regular destiny as in spiritual destiny or regular destiny. But we've all read this chapter before, so I think you should all know the answer to this question. See, it is, the number one flaw in his philosophy is, he thinks destiny is absolutely logical. Like, there's really nothing fantastical or spiritual about it. That is one fundamental flaw in his thinking. He really doesn't believe anything spiritually when it comes to destiny or fantastical when it comes to destiny. Which if we actually look at what happens in the real world, it really doesn't, destiny doesn't always work that way. Like, we know fate exists. We know destiny actually exists in the real world. It actually is spiritual, whether people like to admit it or not. If we're thinking too logically, it's not always going to work out. So, that's just one thing. Now let's actually look at something we all know. How do I say this? Let's go straight to the next panels. Now let's actually hear its explanation. See, to Hugo, destiny just comes down to your suitability. Anything about your physique, talent, personality, some of your basic abilities that the moment you're born into the world. And of course, in other words, he says the moment people are born, people aren't equal. But each being has a suitable way of life. Horses can run fast, birds can fly. Only humans are unnatural. Creatures just need to live in accordance with nature. Not on a table genes that continues to create pointless conflict and despair. Which is, look, now I'm gonna be honest, what Ego said is not wrong here. We know people always create pointless conflict and despair out of absolutely nothing. Definitely inflate their egos far past reality. It's true in the real world. It is true we humans do chase out our unattainable dreams. However, what he concludes next is saying don't dream beyond yourself is definitely not shocking. Like, let's be honest, saying don't dream beyond yourself is kind of a little bit flawed. Can I be honest? Can I genuinely be honest with you? When he says people should just live naturally or according to their suitability and thinking the world will be happier, at that point he acts as a form of conformment because I did have a video talking about this, so I just referenced that video up, but he did specifically mention the fact that how would the world be happier if everybody lives according to their suitability? The issue is not everybody has the same suitability, or in other words, not everybody grows up. Someone can just grow past their own suitability and then they just reach an entirely new suitability, which is kind of flawed to begin with. Cellular level is not really a good philosophy when you consider the fact that talent people can easily grow without their regular suitability. It is you know you're suitable for something, but then you can go past that suitability and still surpass it. That's another issue with the philosophy here. You can't conform to one philosophy and stick to it like it's basically your only thing you can do in life. You know, you can easily go past that. Of course, we know a lion can't fly, but at least a lion will learn to jump. That like it will keep learning to jump and try until it actually gets to where it wants to go. That's why you think people have unattainable dreams, because they still strive for it. There are other cases where the flaws will actually matter in this case. The flaws do actually help in showing you that sometimes it's just best to not always conform to one thing. And that's another fundamental flaw in the philosophy. There's really the argument of the fact that people can easily grow past it. Or the fact that no one can easily stick to your one sensibility that they have. Even Isagi himself admitted it too. Like, yes, he has aspects to be a midfielder, but you're not painfully admit to it. I mean, he can literally rewrite his own destiny with his ego, which is actually the whole point of, like, Bullock to begin with. That suitability can actually help out, so it should be very much obvious how it actually works. Now, we're gonna skip past a little bit of this and go straight to this. Another one here. I told you, I'm using all panels to analyze this. So it is, he calls them good. Taking a diligent and clever group of dynamics of Japanese soccer and mixing it with the individualistic philosophy of striker produces a hybrid team with the best of both approaches. Your must be an exceptional man to pull off this experiment, but its effectiveness ends here. Talent 66%, talent 30%, and luck 1%. See, there's one thing. He believes those are components needed for victory. Then he proceeds to go downplay 1% of luck because it is preventing luck from occurring is the ultimate way to crush Bullock. But the issue is luck doesn't always work that way. Did we forget in how did I say this? A chapter about luck that's you have to literally make sure you actually at the right place at the right time. Luck isn't so simple or very low ball material. It's literally the same thing that someone will have if everything is all based up on luck. I'll just leave this, okay? It is if everybody's thinking you always scrape things by luck. Genuinely doesn't make sense. Not everything is always scraped by luck. You're the one who even works hard to even reach that level anyway. So can I be honest? That's not a flaw. It's just the fact that thinking is genuinely crazy. Now, let's go a little bit to another flaw here. It is due to Hugo really pushing the suitability philosophy to him. He's really trying to make Isagi fall to the second best path, basically. He's basically trying to make him conform to that philosophy. It's actually extreme, and in serious, it really goes against Ego's philosophy entirely. You're trying to literally convince someone to try and change their entire mindset or everything they're built upon just to make sure to think that they're actually growing stronger. But then you realize Bullock is genuinely not going to go stronger if you're trying to follow like a wrong suitability. Or not even wrong suitability, or wrong case of annihilation, basically. Now, let's leave this fact. We all know France won the game 4-2. We know about that. We're really gonna skip past that whole thing. And we know Isagi flopped shots. We know about all this. Now I'm gonna look at Karasu. Karasu is the second thing that I'm gonna use. Another fundamental flaw, the fact that Karasu's whole awakening was good in terms of actually getting them a chance to win the game. But the issue with this is that they genuinely did not have a chance to win, even when Karasu was trying to follow the number 2 philosophy. And you'll see why when they show you this. And then as soon as Karasu passed to Yori, they had 2 options. Both of them had the options to shoot. And but the issue is they were both thinking at the number 2 philosophy. None of them wanted to shoot the goal. They both had the chances, but they still did not keep it as something they had in mind. The thing is, even as a midfielder, you should still have the option to actually have shooting as an actual option yourself. Let's be honest. I mean, number 2 philosophy and practically saying, yeah, I don't, please, I'm not taking the shot. Someone else do it. I'm only gonna do what my job is. Like, I'll be the number 2 so that everyone else takes the shots. Like, you're sacrificing your own goals or sacrificing yourself so that everybody else will score. See, getting them a goal here, but the mentality issue is where it lies. And that's what keep bringing up. Is the mentality issue that is the problem here. The fundamental flaw in suitability theory is the fact that they will call off their own mentality or call off their own goals just to get short-term victory. But the issue is, short-term victory is not going to end you long-term goals. It's that simple. Like, it's genuinely not that simple. And also, Blue cannot hold their own very easily. Even if they follow the suitability theory, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even Ego himself actually concluded this. And I want to go straight to that chapter to show everybody why that is. But first things first, let's go through Hugo's actual mentality. See, the issue with what suitability did to Kasu was the fact that it literally forcing him to try and take control of the entire team by himself. I don't have any problems with. But the issue is, how do I say this? Hold up, I'm gonna have to rethink this again. Is misunderstanding Ego's philosophy. Genuinely being serious. If you go so hard into one philosophy, you might as well just start misunderstanding the other philosophy like as if it's nothing. You're genuinely trying to change for, like, what, like, okay, I'm just gonna think this again. If we think about it, it is, anything besides playing soccer for yourself isn't the way of the egoist. He's genuinely not wrong, let's be honest. And he always will still do anything in his power to keep to his own goals, even if he has to sacrifice himself just to do it. And, okay, I'm just going to go straight to the next one. I genuinely want to skip to the Hugo stuff. Yes, we all know Hugo has the second best ego. I genuinely don't care. Look, let's be honest. Hugo does have an ego. We all can agree the fact that Hugo actually does have an ego. But the issue is Hugo was born with a genius talent to basically have a logical brain. Or basically a wired brain to see others like being misaligned. He's willing to try and correct people's mechanisms. And the thing is, he is gifted with that. So honestly, everybody should know he's a talent. Like, he's a genius. I think we should all conclude the fact that the whole France team is made up of geniuses. I think that should be very obvious. Except Charles. I don't really know about Charles yet, but we'll keep that in mind. But anyways, more and more to Hugo. We know he's acts a little bit like Isagi, but he's not Isagi. It's that simple. He has his own dream. He himself is an egoist. What is actually funny? It's actually kind of funny how Hugo has an ego, but his own philosophy fundamentally contradicts his own ego. That is actually funny, though. Look, the philosophy is good. It works for him. But the issue is, how is it going to work well if you're trying to force it upon anybody else? It's literally making everybody else conform to you so that everybody else changes. So that you have an easier chance to easily win the game. It's that simple. It has a form of conformity. Now, we're going to leave Hugo's profile real quick because that's not what I care about right now. Up next is Ego's explanation. And the fact that he did actually point out the flaw in Hugo's philosophy. And I want to bring it up right now. Is the fact that what Kasu trying to copy Hugo's entire game plan is what's genuinely going to lead to his downfall in the whole France game. If anything, I think Kasu still lost despite the fact that he had all the chances to like change the team for the better. But the issue is, almost all the goals he scored as a result of him, they all had fundamental flaws. Every single plan they had still didn't make sense. Trying to be team second best actually didn't even help the team at all. It just made it easier for France. Jeremy is serious. If you actually think about it, most of Kasu's plays against France was good, quick with the thinking. But the issue is the mentality behind that thinking. And that thinking is what actually caused France to genuinely lose. Sorry, not France. Japan to lose. I keep mixing up France and Japan. It's actually Japan who lost. Now, let me bring this up. This is actually the explanation I need to tell you all. The thing is, if every soccer player try to play in line your suitability, in the end, it's gonna be nothing but competition of physical abilities and tactics. Genuinely serious? If you think about it, in real football, it's genuinely not wrong. If anyone just playing through tactics and physical abilities due to in line their suitability, not everybody's gonna like. It's just gonna be too boring. In fact, it doesn't even make any sense at all. Sorry, it doesn't make any sense. And here's another evidence to back it up. The fact that is France is basically a multi-ethnic country. They have a whole variety of talents there. So I think it should be obvious that it makes it easier for suitable talents to be born in every position. Which actually makes sense. If you actually reread this line again, you will realize Ego actually does make up valid points here. I mean, if you actually look at the real France national team, hold up, I'm gonna search the France. See, point case and point proven. In fact, I literally just searched the internet, almost perfectly validating the point. In fact, if you see the information here, it says France national team strength is primarily due to a centralized institutionalized development system. Now you hear what he says. It's called technical excellence and tactical intelligence. In fact, they have an unparalleled talent pipeline that ensures squad depth and resilience. Even when key players are injured, France will still field competitive teams. That's the thing, they all are multicultural. It's due to the fact that France is extremely multicultural and the fact they have colonized other, like, they used to have former colonies anyway. I mean, why do they keep people like Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele exist? It's due to the fact that they've learned how to actually optimize their whole multicultural talents. Now back to Ego's theory, Ego's point on suitability. The thing is, suitability itself works well for actual countries that actually do have broken talents. Or in this case, do have like extremely strong, talented people. I mean, why do you think people like Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, and Michael Olise exist? Simple. They've learned how to optimize all their talents together at once. Now, see the question Ego brings up. So if France assembles an outstanding team of players, handpicked for their suitable talents, do you think Japan has any chance of winning, even though they do the same thing? Quick question. The answer is simple. It's no. I thought people should have understood this by now. I mean, let's be honest, Japan is not France. Japan themselves don't have an actual, like, wide range of talents that people think they are. Japan is not a very strong powerhouse like France, or England, or even Germany. In fact, I think when Blue Law Chapter 353 comes out, I want to bring up this point again. Because it will still show you that there are actual fundamental flaws in thinking in terms of suitability. Because the issue is it doesn't work for everybody. That's another flaw in the philosophy. It really doesn't work for everybody. It only works for people who are extremely well talented together. You have to actually optimize their suitability for what they're good at and then actually produce strong results as a result of it. So obviously, if you think about it, if Japan actually played suitability, so if they played suitably, they genuinely will not change the world. I mean, why do you think Blue Lock was even established to begin with? It's to change something like this. Because you yourself can't even like play specifically based off of your talents. If you did all that, you're not gonna grow at all. At some point, you gotta have to learn to change based on all of this. I mean, they live for that one chance to actually know that would never actually happen. If they know their place and just stuck to their place, it's basically just used by strong people to downgrade the weak. It's that simple. I mean, I thought even the rich downgrading the common people literally use this. It's as simple as that. People are multiculturally talented. Egotistically use this thing to your advantage. They learn suitably because that's just how it works for them. It works too easily for those of the rich and those of like very, very strong talents. Jamie's serious. I think we should all just agree that actually just makes sense. Now we're gonna live straight for I think another thing is hold up. Yes, Carlos. Honestly, let's be honest. I think I'm just gonna skip straight to Carlos's place because they genuinely already proved my points. I mean, I think you should have known that Kasu pretty much did like show y'all that the book philosophy genuinely wasn't the problem. It's the mentality that's the issue, or how people actually understand the philosophy. Now, now I'm gonna bring up this fact. You know what's funny? Kasu's second goal was not even his own thing. Genuinely serious. Like, Kasu genuinely thought he actually was the one who dominated the pitch. But the issue is, even his own plans didn't actually work in the game, despite actually thinking it did. And I want to show y'all why. Like, we can literally establish the fact that he used Shido to his advantage for Watt to still have a chance of a goal. But the main issue is, Logi still came in, but it amounted to nothing when Baro stole a goal. Bro, Baro stole a goal. And yet, Kasu thought he did something. Buddy, you got the assist for the wrong person. Let's be honest, an Ego scored a goal, not Kasu. If Kasu was even supposed to get the glaze here, it was supposed to be Baro because he took control of the situation. It was not even Kasu's own option. Let's be honest. I think that should be obvious. Now, last things last. I think we should all conclude, yeah, this thing works pretty well for France. Let's be honest. Vivian Hugo destined himself to only make sure that the thing actually does work for their philosophy. Sorry, it does work for the team. I genuinely just not liking this. Anyways, if you think about it, I'm gonna go to the end of the game. I think for the love of the game, I'm just gonna go to the end because I'm gonna show y'all something. Sorry, not this. I think we already established Ego's philosophy before, so previous one. Yeah, this one. This basically just proved my point. You know what's funny? Even though when Otoya came in, perfectly being in sync with Kasu's entire number 2 system. Yeah. Let's be honest, Isagi still used it to his advantage. But to Ring coming in, he still lost. And he didn't even play out the win against them. It's like, funny enough, Kasu's system genuinely didn't work out. Even when you think it did. Let's be honest, Kasu only gave them a chance. But the actual issue is they actually didn't strive to get better. They always stuck to the same thing. I can prove my point even when we look back at the thing that was used. True ending. Yes. It's true ending specifically I'm going to use. You know what's funny? People, I always thought they actually were entering a new dimension. You know what's funny? The only reason they were entering a new dimension was due to Isagi actually playing the system. But the issue is, he wasn't playing the system. He wasn't even playing for Kasu. They were trying to reproduce the same goal again, but the issue is, it didn't work. Y'all thought it worked the first time, but France literally saw that thing before. They just ran out the same option again. Why use the same thing when it couldn't work the first time? You know what's another funny thing? I'm gonna go back to Otoya's shots. Yeah, I know people say Otoya literally did absolutely trash. We always do bad. Now let's live this. Now I'm gonna look at what Kasu says here. You know what he suggested? He told him to shoot from around this point. There's a point in field where you want him to shoot. This is outside the box. I'll ask you, how do you expect Otoya to score from all the way here? He's not even like having a long range shot from all the way from that side. And you expect him to shoot? I'll tell you one thing. It doesn't make any sense. How do you expect to shoot from a position you can't score from? That is like trying to try something entirely new. But in this case, it doesn't make any sense. Like, Jamie serious, it really does not make any sense. Karasu, you're a smart guy, but why would you attempt this? Now, I'm going to take note of every single flaw I found. Because, this is going to be necessary. Alright, I'm back, and here are all the notes I found for Hugo's philosophy. Number 1, suitability theory works well for overpowered talented individuals in France, which I already confirmed with France research. He tells the way for a shot to make the weak conform, or basically just destroy the others and keep them out of the food chain. 2 and 6 are the same. I just wanted to notify the fact that the rich always constantly use this. And then there's 3, which is the fact that it forces people to not grow just by thinking they have grown. Just by thinking they have grown. Sorry. Then there's the fact that if everyone does fall to stability, it's going to be physical tactical gameplay, which Ego did mention. And the fact is, Ego thinks things in a personal way, not in the physically inherent logical way. And lastly, Destiny is still spiritual, not only logical. And that's the last of it. And I really want to close this video. Please, if anybody listens, I'll be grateful. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I'll catch you guys next one. Bye, egoists.